The thing that's happening now is truly amazing for people who own XRP and Ethereum. Right now, a lot of money is flowing into Ethereum. Soon after, the rest of the altcoin space goes crazy. That's why I'm making this video for all of you great people. Let's watch this video right away and see what Tom Lee says. What Ethereum does in the short term is not affected by what its fair value is. Look at how high it got last week, 3,300. That's because some people are selling off their holdings, making pair trades, or believing that Ethereum is a dead chain. They are betting on another chain and trying to get levels to close down. If people look back to 2017, I believe that Ethereum is having its Bitcoin 2017 moment right now, where Wall Street is finally on board with Ethereum. In the short run, I think people should focus on Ethereum reaching $4,000. Ethereum is a better story now than it was in December when it was $4,000. As Tom Lee said, it's no wonder that Ethereum has now worth more than $4,000 per coin. Today, it's trading at $4,200, which completely shattered that price goal. At the same time, XRP's price has been going down a little, which is a very healthy correction given how the market is currently acting. But here's the thing, all this money that's flowing into Ethereum will finally dry up because of what Tom Lee just talked about, and we'll explain in more detail. Whales are always on the lookout for something new. They are always on the lookout for the next big thing. And so whenever they want, Ethereum's price has pretty much reached its highest point. That's when a lot of money starts to flow into other cryptocurrencies like XRP. This is pretty much what happened when Ethereum hit its previous high in December, which Tom Lee just talked about. I think this is also going to happen very soon now. It looks like Ethereum will reach its PK sometime in the next 30 days. After that, the XRP community will be hit by a tsunami. Personally, I think that's where we'll see some crazy price changes. This is what the movie for today will be about. It would be interesting to hear what Tom Lee has to say about Ethereum. I'm going to connect it to XRP. Watch out. Let's start. At the moment, 3.2% of the network's source is MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy, on the other hand, wants to reach at least 1 million Bitcoin, which is about 5%. Also, remember that MicroStrategy has a sovereign put once they have 1 million Bitcoin. They are important to the Bitcoin environment from a strategic point of view. It might be hard for the US to buy 1 million Bitcoins on the open market if it wants to build up a strategic Bitcoin store, because as soon as they say it, buyers will stop, and Bitcoin could reach $1 million right away. One way to get to 1 million Bitcoins might be to use the micro approach. That's what I call a royal put. In 5 years, MicroStrategies reached the 3% mark. In other words, they bought about 16 cents worth of Bitcoin every day for 5 years. Look at Bitmine from the beginning to now. It has added about 80 cents to the dollar every day in Ethereum. That means it works 12 times faster than MicroStrategy. At 12 times the speed of MicroStrategy, we would be on track to reach 5%, which makes sense because, we would be a good company because we would be doing everything in line with what is considered to be a legally compliant blockchain. For example, Ethereum is a legally compliant blockchain, and everything that Bitmine does keeps all of its operations in the United States. Wall Street and the US government would want to see a lot of these things in someone who stakes a lot of ETH. Also, and this is just as important, ETH will be where a lot of Wall Street's money moves on the blockchain. In the end, I think someone on Twitter said that staking ETH for Wall Street is like gamers buying NVIDIA. You would have done better as a gamer or a gaming business to buy NVIDIA. They also want the person or organization that stakes it to be working to further Ethereum's goals. I believe that holding ETH is a very important thing that we do. Smart move, the SEC wants to move the financial system to the blockchain. Ethereum is the biggest blockchain and also follows US law. It's a blockchain that the law recognizes. But of course, other governments can use this blockchain. It's clear that the US wants to strengthen its place and control over this blockchain. Also, don't forget that there is more than one plot going on with Ethereum. Also, it's AI, right? If you're going to tokenize something like robots or something else, you need a blockchain that can also be protected. Tech and Wall Street are coming together on Ethereum. What do Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan want? Do they want people to store their Ethereum in 1 million different wallets? They don't want to centralize it, but they do want to make sure that the holding is done in a legal way, which means that not everyone will choose to do that. But we've always said that the idea is that Bitmine has a perfect balance sheet. As far as I know, there isn't any fancy capital arrangement going on. As for our staking answer, we haven't said what it is yet because, well, $3 billion worth of ETH is a big deal, and it has to be staked in a way that is completely in line with GAAP and how the US would want it to be staked. So I think the way we're going about it is very careful. I don't disagree with anything you said, though. It just goes to show that Ethereum bank companies are important infrastructure. It's not only a safety play, and in return, you get at least a staking yield, but they could be making money in other ways as well. So I think you're making a point of showing that these Ethereum bonds aren't just another type of ETF. What they do is very important for the NVI. Ron meant also, I don't really understand where Tom Lee is coming from. It's clear that his whole market play here with Bitmine is going to be very profitable for him, especially since Ethereum staking is on top of the huge amount of price action and the possibility that all of these other ETFs joining the market and adding even more capital will help. I still think that Ethereum is not as good as some of the newest blockchain systems that are on the market. What I think will happen is that all of these Wall Street companies that have been around for a while will just pile into Ethereum. Not long after that, people will start to see that Ethereum is way too expensive for what it offers. As if blockchain technology weren't already amazing and about to change the way money is handled around the world. Yes, it has smart contracts and EVM functionality, which are both great and very useful features. However, it is still not as efficient or as low cost per transaction as, say, HBAR or XRP. And I think these are the most important things about blockchain technology and how widely it is used. But I think it will only be a matter of time before Wall Street realizes that there is better technology out there than Ethereum. They will also start to move their money over there. And I do think it will happen pretty quickly because more and more investors, from individual to institutional to even the government with the treasuries, are starting to pay attention to crypto. I also believe that information is spreading much more quickly than it ever has before. So I think it will be almost like a switch was flipped. This is something that people in the XRP army often say, there will be a switch flip. The day will come when people realize they need to put money into the tools that will power the financial systems of the future. That's when, in my opinion, that huge wave of cash will arrive. I think that the approval of XRP ETFs, specifically spot ETFs, in September will be the first important step in the right direction. This is because retail investors will assess. Also, I believe that will be the start of this snowball effect that will build the speed I was talking about. Okay, don't misunderstand. In many ways, Ethereum has really helped move the crypto space forward. It is a great piece of technology, but it's not the end of the world, as many Wall Street guys will try to convince you. It's just the latest and greatest thing that they want you to look at so that they can get your ETF volume and make their fees. They'll be very happy because they're making a lot of money. Also, don't think that I'm one of those Wall Street guys from a hedge fund trying to sell you an ETF instead of telling you to do self-custody. I really believe that everyone should do self-custody. That's what cryptocurrency is all about. So I believe everyone should have their own. Everyone should be able to take care of themselves. Let's all be in charge of our own crypto. Someone once said, not your keys, not your crypto. That is really, really true. And that's exactly what we talk about in my Discord group, where I also post about every possible trade I make. So I want to make sure you can see this so you can join in and see all of my trades and what I'm doing to get a better idea of what's going on in these markets, because I also give a lot of information on everything I'm thinking about in that room. So if you want to get that for free, all you have to do is sign up for BTCC using this link. There is a great 10% deposit bonus going on right now, which means you can get up to $10,000 in bonuses on your account just by using my link. Make sure you click on that link. Not only that, but you'll also save money on trading fees and get other great perks. That's what you should do. It's a really big plus. After that, you make a deposit, enter your email address, and then switch your user ID right here on this form. Also, since I'm your uncle, you can use my Discord and Telegram. I can't wait to see you all in there. If you liked the video, please click the like and subscribe buttons. The link to Crypto Crusaders is next to this. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.